Thank you very much. The next speaker on our list is now the Ambassador and Permanent Representative to the OSCE of Belgium.
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson. Excellencies, dear colleagues, dear participants, throughout the past year, the Austrian presidency of the OSCE demonstrated the country's commitment as well as the energy of its excellent diplomatic services to strive for consensus in the many areas where unanimity amongst the group of 57 participating states is hard to achieve. Today we meet again, still concerned by developments within the OSCE area in recent years that have deepened mistrust, increased tensions, caused conflict, created instability within and between states. Year after year, the same conflicts continue to haunt the debates and, as a result, hamper outcomes in all three dimensions, including on more technical matters. The conflict in and around Ukraine is now well into its fourth year. Let us not lose sight of the impact it continues to have on the population that has no choice than to live and survive in the conflict zone. In this respect, Belgium commends the efforts of the Austrian presidency and its emphasis on the plight of the civilians in the conflict zone, as well as the relentless involvement of the many SMM monitor teams reaching out to local people during their patrols. The sides must make sure that critical infrastructure are no longer targeted, especially as the hardships of yet another winter are even more strongly felt by the most vulnerable. The fact that international humanitarian organizations cannot access the areas not under the control of the Ukrainian government only exacerbates the dire situation of the population. Moreover, time and again, severe injuries and fatalities have been caused by the placement of mines near the contact line that is crossed daily by so many civilians. Earlier this year, the special monitoring mission to Ukraine had to suffer a loss in its midst, showing once again the urgency of making lasting arrangements among the parties. The safety and security of our monitors should be a priority for us all. We reconfirm our support to the Minsk agreements and the work of the Trilateral Contact Group and echo the several appeals on the necessity to achieve a sustainable ceasefire. Last year, our Hamburg Ministerial Council decided on a mandate for embarking on a new approach in order to identify and analyze the many divergences that stand in the way of workable arms control arrangements. The open-ended informal working group on structured dialogue has made it possible to launch the process and embark on discussions on a series of useful topics and subtopics throughout the past year. This process will have to continue under the leadership of the incoming Italian presidency. And it is essential that all OSCE participating states have the common good of the OSCE region in mind and hence are willing to contribute to its success. Structured dialogue could, if carefully handled, develop in one of the most interesting political processes in the OSCE. As a political process, state-owned and state-driven, it could evolve progressively into an effective multilateral response on current threats and challenges. Mr. Chairperson, in Belgium there is a general consensus that the scrupulous defense of human rights and fundamental freedoms and the existence of a buoyant civil society are indispensable for any genuinely democratic country. History has shown that the absence of those essential liberties has been a precursor of regional instability, if not outright aggression. All OSCE participating states have to uphold their commitments in the human dimension of the OSCE. The three autonomous institutions, based on their strong and flexible mandates, are here to assist us participating states on the implementation of these commitments. At the informal ministerial meeting in Mauerbach, we managed to reach consensus on the new heads of these institutions. It is now important to enable them to function properly, inter alia by providing them with adequate budgets. We should also avoid any attempt to curtail the functioning of the yearly Human Dimension Implementation Meeting, which must stay an opportunity for dialogue with civil society organizations and human rights defenders in the OSCE area. To conclude, I would like to insist on the importance for Belgium to reach an agreement on new scales of contribution, reflecting today's economic realities before the end of the year. We therefore urge all participating states to engage constructively in the coming weeks in order to find a long-awaited solution for this problem. I thank you, Mr. Chairperson.
Thank you very much.